My name is Joe Bannister, and as you may know, I was born and raised in San Jose, just down the road. I come from a family of government servants. My next brother down is a sergeant in the California Highway Patrol. He doesn't give tickets just to anybody, so you may not have encountered him. My next one is a captain in the Daly City Fire Department, Jim. And my youngest baby brother, Jeff, is a San Jose police officer. From 1993 until 1999, I was a special agent for the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, the criminal investigator for that agency. I enjoyed the job immensely for a few years, not because I was on some kind of a power trip, but because I was investigating very high-level violations of federal law. And then I heard a claim on a radio station that some of you may have listened to, KSFO, indicating that there might be a problem with the income tax system.
Might?
Now, obviously, I didn't know that there was that kind of a problem. I knew that the IRS had bad reputation, but I thought maybe I could do something to clean it up a bit. Well, when I looked into these claims about the income tax, I found a very ugly can of worms. I approached my supervisors. It took me about 2 years to really get clear on whether or not these claims were true about the IRS basically violating people's rights and it's trampling all over the Constitution. And after I completed my research and investigation, I went and approached my supervisors at the IRS and voiced my concerns. And the response I got was that they were not going to address any of my concerns and that they would give me the paperwork to tender my resignation. And so I resigned back in February of 1999. Seems like quite a long time ago. After resigning from the IRS in '99, I would occasionally be asked to speak and to join others in banging the drum about the illegal conduct of the IRS. And often I would go to Washington, D.C. with many others and try to get our government officials to wake up and open their eyes to what's going on, what the IRS is doing to our fellow Americans and to us. And probably will not surprise you at all to realize that when we would go back to Washington, D.C., we encountered a lot of deaf ears, a lot of people with their heads in the sand.
Or elsewhere.
And there was at least one man, who didn't have his head in the sand about the federal income tax system, nor many other very important issues. And that man, of course, is Ron Paul.
We want our country back.
Ron is one of the few people in Washington who exhibits true character and integrity. In fact, I'm not aware of anyone more principled than Ron Paul. He's not afraid to speak up about dangers to our liberty, whether it be dangers to our own lives, the lives of the unborn, our national sovereignty, our rights, our property, or the government's increasing surveillance and monitoring of its own citizens. How many others in positions of power in Washington, D.C. have shown such courage? No one that I'm aware of. Obviously, given my past experience as an IRS criminal investigator, the devastation that the IRS visits upon the American people is an important issue for me. And it is for Ron Paul also. I would invite you to go to hearliberty.com, H-E-A-R liberty.com, down to the April 12th, 2004 entry. And there's a very interesting interview that Congressman Paul did regarding the income tax. As some of you may know, anybody heard of the movie America, Freedom to Fascism? It's just a little movie that my understanding is that there were upwards of 3 million views on Google Video. And it was knocked down to 0 by somebody. not wanting it to be seen that this video had been viewed by 3 million people. But nonetheless, it was up to 3 million, so let's see if we can get it back up there again and maybe double it. Anyway, Congressman Paul is in that movie. And I would invite you, if you wanted to go, my website, freedomabovefortune.com, you can click on the movie poster and you can watch the movie for free. And Congressman Paul is prominently featured in that movie. It makes a lot of very excellent points about the monetary system, the income tax, and government surveillance of good citizens.
So's Joe Bannister.
I'm sorry, freedomabovefortune.com. Anyway, in closing, I'd like to tell you what I like about Ron Paul. He's a doctor who still makes house calls. In 1997, Dr. Paul made a house call to a gravely sick patient. The patient was someone we have all been very worried about, our dear old Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam hasn't been himself lately. He's been breaking a lot of rules that he used to consider off limits. He has scandalized himself and discarded nearly all of his virtues. Others have come along to try to help our dear old Uncle Sam to get better. The majority of them have given our dear uncle snake oil and other remedies that only make him worse. The only person who has the cure, if we can just get Uncle Sam to listen to him and follow his advice, is Dr. Ron Paul. Ron Paul is the kind of man that our Constitution and Republic were designed for. A man of principle, a man of courage, a man of honor. Thank you.